Okie dokie, let's see how this goes. Well, I know how the video goes. Let's see how the recording setup goes. So what I'm doing first of all, I've got Github Copilot set up with some agents. You can see Power BI developer agent set up from a guy called Ramano. It's available on GitHub, and I'll link that in the description. What I'm doing first of all is I've got a project at the minute running through some gym equipment, the Concept2 Erg machines that print out JSON data when you're doing running, skiing, rowing, or bike, and that creates JSON files. They can't be used directly in Power BI, so I've got a script set up that converts them into Parquet files. What I'm doing here, what I've just prompted, first of all, is for Copilot to check the JSON files or the Parquet files for any schema differences between the old versions and the latest versions, as there were some differences in the way I've recorded those sessions. One of the things you'll notice about GitHub Copilot sometimes is it can do a fair bit of going backwards and forwards, and some of the text feedback that you'll see on the screen, you have to be quite quick sometimes to read what it's actually doing. You can see here that it's actually had an issue in its PowerShell script, first of all, with quotes, which isn't too unusual, and it has to go back and try a slightly different syntax to run the script again. A couple of times in this video, as I was cooking tea at the same time, there will be some hanging screens where I've not been able to press allow straight away. So you'll see, like now, it's currently sat on pending, which is good. And you can change allow for this session, so it'll just keep on allowing. I've not done that in here. But one thing to note is that during this short video, you'll see I am cooking dinner during the same time, with the frying pan as well, so fairly high stakes dinner cooking. But that's why this particular screen's left on pending for a few moments. What we're doing today is we are just checking the script quickly, and then we're going to create a Power BI semantic model. Create's not quite the right word, because what we tend to prefer when we're actually using these tools is we'll initially create a blank template in PBIP format for Power BI, which is the new sort of text-based, folder-based format, which is much better for Copilot and other LLMs to interact with. If you actually create it from scratch, then it can get a little bit confused about syntax versions and where to put the different bits of data. Unfortunately, I'm recording the sound separately here, and I can't remember just how long I left this on pending for. And if you are fed up of waiting, you want to get more towards the results, you can skip ahead to about 10 minutes in, when you'll start seeing the actual output. Here we go. And there's also not a lot of big issues here. The actual result here was that the script on the data is fine, more or less. So we can see as this comes up that the schema drift is actually okay, but we do have a data type drift that it's found, and this could trip us up later on. So it's good that we did it. You can see there that after the 19th of June, some of the data types changed. And what's good, as we have translated these files into Parquet, which are easier to manage, we can get these data issues normalized and sorted. Like I say, this first 10 minutes or so really is just doing the very initial steps, just so you can see some of how Copilot interacts. We'll get to one of the things that we're doing in this project is we're initially running it in GitHub Copilot. However, you will see, especially if you're using GitHub Copilot, that we run out of tokens fairly soon, or fairly quickly. We don't run out of tokens in this one, but certainly when I've been using GitHub Copilot, I run out of tokens, and then you have to wait till the next month for tokens to refresh. Signups for premium tokens are actually turned off now. You can't sign up to buy more tokens. So once you run out, you run out. Now what we are going to be doing later on in this project, or immediately next in this project, is configuring our Power BI developer agent. You can see there I've got credits at 50%. We're going to be configuring our Power BI developer agent in a extension called Continue, which you can see collapsed at the top of the screen. Continue works very much in the same way. We can point that at our Gemini or Claude using API tokens, or as I've done, to actually use a local LLM, which works quite well with a provider called Ollama, who have the QWEN models. I think I've probably brutalized at least one of those names. But we can see here now we are getting into some business end here, and Copilot's actually doing things. I haven't mentioned yet, but I'll put in there, one of the things that we're actually using to do these operations is the Power BI Data Modelling MCP, which is a standardized server for operating on Power BI. And that's got a load of tools. Might go through that separately in more detail for interest, but I just wanted to show here the prompt side. You can see how GitHub Copilot runs out of tokens so quickly, because it'll do a step and immediately jump straight into the next step. One of the things we can control a little bit better when doing things like this ourselves is to update the prompts so that we can manage syntax issues a little bit more cleanly without it iterating through its next attempts. And part of our project will be to get the right prompts and the right tools to actually enable that to happen with the fewest issues. For now, with GitHub Copilot, we tend to just watch the screen, watch what it's doing, and let it follow through. And at the minute, you'll notice we're not even generating the Power BI change yet. We are just validating the data, so that if we skip through about a minute or so, we will have this data checked and we will start prompting to create the Power BI data. What is frustrating sometimes about Copilot, as you can see, it runs something and then immediately it finds out that it didn't run what it thought it ran. So it has to try again a different way. And it does usually get to the right answer. So we can see here that we've now updated everything, and what we're going to do next in a moment is actually, you can see here, we've got this erg data demo v1.pbip, and you can see that we've got a little prompt there that we have a semantic model template, and we want to add the Parquet session data to that semantic model. In each of the file names, there is an indicator of the type, so row, bike, or ski. We want to add that file name to the table as a column, and also have an additional column where we just take the machine type. You can see now that Power BI Developer is getting into the business end and doing what it does. So as the text pops up on the screen here, it's telling us what's going on. This is one disadvantage of starting with an empty model. So what I'll probably do in the future is create a date dimension for two simple reasons. One, we're not starting with an empty file structure, so Power BI Developer can get a recap on what the structure is that's expected to go in, and we're less likely to put in any syntax errors in the initial build. And it will also give us a date dimension so that we can immediately link that in to any tables. You can see that we've done this now. Power BI Developer is really quickly done, and we can see that we've updated the model.tmdl file, and we've also added in the data there and added in those two columns. And I think this is where we get our first hiccup. We'll see now that this is not going to load quite as expected. I'm a liar sometimes. I think I was